purpose of this
take
video.
8 or 10 or whatever we're on. So what you're about to see in this video is the idea that lean thinking is about continuous improvement, and it's about a mindset shift.
I think the most important part of it is to set the difference between not being a Kanban, not being a system or a rollout. But more than anything is to reduce waste on a daily basis.
Yeah, absolutely. So, when you think about, what do people think about in the restaurant? What do team members think about when we talk about, productivity? We got to get faster. We got to do this better.
As a team member, I think they think about always moving faster, adding extra work to what they're doing, and then just working harder and adding extra stress or another step in there.
Yeah. Well, I know that lean is ultimately about adding value to the customer. But, we think about what is going to get traction in the restaurant. How are we going to get team members to get engaged and help us move forward with lean in the restaurant?
That's a good question. I think ultimately it's just about making their job easier. I mean, if you think about it, it's making it easier and then making their ideas matter and count. Because at the end of the day, they have the best ideas. But what is the purpose of this video, or how do we accomplish it here?
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to take you outside the context of the restaurant. We brought you here to the cabin, and we're going to use an everyday process of making coffee. And we're going to apply Tim Woody to that process and help you see that lean is about a way of thinking. It's about a mindset, and it's about continuous improvement. So we're going to improve the process of making coffee. And then ultimately at the end of this, hopefully you'll see and be able to use this video to communicate to your team members that it is about making their job easier and about ultimately reducing waste and adding value to the customer. And so as an operator, one of the things that I really care about is profitability. And I see how this is probably one of the most impactful things that we can do inside the organization to impact the bottom line, is to embrace this idea and this culture of lean. So, man, what happened with food costs this month?
Oh, man. Hold on a second. Oh, I'm tired.
You need some coffee, man.
I think I do.
We need to wake up so we can focus on this.
Yeah, because
I'll make you some coffee.
Thanks.
So seriously, what,
I don't know. I've just been tired this whole week. Yeah. Probably need a break or something.
Maybe this will wake you up.
Hopefully, we need a strong coffee over there,
Oh, there we go again. Oh.
Get my phone.
What do we do with the coffee?
Sorry, I don't know. I think.
Oh, here it is.
Let's stick there somewhere.
Filter. This is the wrong kind of filter. Do we have those other filters?
I don't know. I think I saw them somewhere around here. I don't even know where we put it last time.
Man, do you have a scissors or I got a knife to open this up? This is kind of.
Is this the filter we're looking for?
Oh yeah, that's it.
Ah, you already got the other one wet though. We'll throw it away.
Yeah.
Are you gonna pour the coffee in there?
I need a spoon. I don't have my little coffee measuring spoon out here at the cabin, man. I don't have the right ratio. I guess I'll just use a regular spoon.
Make it strong, so wake me up.
Make it strong, huh? Alright. Well, here, I'm just gonna rake it in there. How about that?
Okay, yeah.
Alright. You think that'll work?
I think so. I think that probably looks good.
Alright. Well, we don't need these. We don't even have a coffee pot that fits in.
Then why do we have it just here?
I have no idea. Must have bought the wrong filters.
Oh, wow. waste. It smells good though. I'll tell you that.
Weather's nice outside today.
Yeah, compared to the last couple of days. I have to tell you, we placed a warehouse order of like a whole bunch of items that I thought we needed. So,
Did we need them?
I think so.
Looks like we're done.
Finally done. Alright, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick, okay?
Alright.
This,
French.
oh, yes, thank you, man. May hazelnut?
Dude, I made French vanilla.
I can't drink French vanilla. Oh,
Hang on. I got you. No worries.
oh man, I thought you had me first.
Yeah, I got you. Still got some hazelnut. There we go, right there.
Hopefully this wake me up.
There you go.
Thanks, man. Alright, so let's get back into food calls. Hopefully this will wake me up. Let me take a sip. Oh my god, that's the worst coffee I've had. It's so strong, man.
Dude, it's terrible. All right, here we go. We'll start over.
Yes, let's throw it away.
All right, man. That's a lot of coffee, but man, it's terrible. All right, let's start over and try again.
Let's do it.
So we hope you guys enjoyed the video. You know, when we think about what we do on a daily basis, we typically just work around the inefficiencies. We don't really try to make and improve what we're doing.
You know, and every day we'll just kind of think about, hey, let me just do it and do whatever it takes to get the job done without, you know, looking at the little stuff that we could improve. So
Yeah, so we're gonna take a walk back through the video and use Tim Woody to look at all the inefficiencies and waste during that process. So our first form of waste is waste of transportation. So you notice I'm going back and forth, moving products. And so, you know, how often, what percentage of our inventory moves in a straight line and is touched only one time to process? So you notice that I move things multiple times throughout the video, and it's just an absolute waste of transportation. Filter. This is the wrong kind of filter. Do we have those other filters?
I don't know. I think I saw them somewhere around here.
As we see in this clip, you know, waste of inventory is on so many levels here. What percentage of time do we have what's needed, where we need it, when we need it, in the right quantity and condition? So our next form of waste is waste of motion. Throughout the entire video, we just see a lot of unnecessary motion going back and forth. You think about how many feet or miles am I moving just to get the job done, in an hour or in a day. So think about that in terms of the restaurant. Weather's nice outside today.
Yeah, compared to the last couple of days.
That was painful, watching that entire process of waiting. What are we waiting on the most? Decisions, teammates, fluids rising, machine cycles, food, systems. Waiting is a huge waste. That's a lot of coffee, but man, it's terrible.
As you can see in the video, this is a perfect example of over or under production. Where do we have tendency to make more or less than the customer requires? Like in the restaurants, how many times have we cooked way too many nuggets, way too many fillets, that we have to end up wasting them? Are you gonna pour the coffee in there?
Spoon. I don't have my little coffee measuring spoon out here at the cabin, man. I don't have the right ratio. I guess I'll just use a regular spoon.
The whole process of making coffee is overcomplicated. What can we do to reduce the number of steps and make the process less difficult and easier to master? Yes, thank you, man. May hazelnut?
Dude, I made French vanilla.
I can't drink French vanilla. Oh.
Hang on.
This is a perfect example of the 7th type of waste, defects. What are the most common mistakes in satisfying the customer? Was it made wrong? Was it bagged wrong? Or did we pour the wrong drink? If you think about it, defects is the worst type of waste because it leads to more of the other forms of waste.
So the 8th form of waste is team member ideas, your ideas. So Hugo, why don't you tell us what we did to help capture team member ideas?
Absolutely. We introduced in our store something known as Kaizen Cash. Basically gives the team member the freedom to share their idea, cash it in for a meal after a video has been posted. But here's an example of what we're talking about if you guys want to see.
My main idea, and for me personally, for these teas, it's hard to it takes too long to put them down and then put them back up and refill them. So just filling the teas up here. Sometimes you don't know how much is in there. So putting a mirror up here just to see how much is getting filled would definitely help prevent spills and messes.
Alright guys, so as you saw in the example, that's what your ideas come in. So I guess you and I, Zach, will brainstorm on a new process for brewing coffee. Make a little Kaizen and hopefully we'll expedite the process of making coffee. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright, we'll be back. So that's what happened with food costs, But I'm getting a little tired, man. Can we have another cup of coffee?
All right, let's see how our process improved here. So
Let's do it.
Hey, while I get the water, you get the filter and the coffee.
Okay.
How many cups you want?
2 cups will be fine.
All right, so I'm gonna have 2, so we'll just make that 4 cups, so we don't have any waste there.
So how many scoops of coffee per cup?
There's actually 1 scoop per 2 cups, so all you need is 2 scoops of coffee.
Okay. 1, 2. There we go.
All right, well, while that's brewing, let's sit down and talk about food costs.
Let's do it. Yeah, works for me. So, as you can see,
Hey, coffee's ready?
Yes, nice.
Hey, so you wanted hazelnut, right?
Yeah, hazelnut will be.
Good, because that's what I poured in there a minute ago, and it's already in your mug.
Nice. That's the perfect coffee too.
Absolutely no waste whatsoever. Stir. And we are good to go.
Let me see. It smells good.
Perfection.
Better than last time. Let's continue.
So let's talk about what we did to improve the process. First, we moved the coffee pot from the other side of the room to over here, close to the sink. We've got an outlet here. We actually took the coffee out of the bag and put it in a container so we don't have to struggle with opening the bag each time. We got our tool here to measure our proper amount of coffee.
Filters accessible.
The right filters right
Exactly.
there. Yep. We relocated our shelf-stable creamer. Didn't really even need to be in the refrigerator, so we've got our products here for that. Brought our coffee mugs down off the shelf a little bit later and kind of pre-prepped by putting the creamer that Hugo wanted in the mug with a spoon already in it ready to stir. So we significantly improved our process, worked together on
Absolutely.
that. You were working on something while I was working on something, and just made the whole process much better.
I think the improvement we definitely made just cut down so much of that waste we had to begin with. I mean, we made our own coffee station, and even though it did take, waiting on the coffee to brew, there was no waste of coffee.
And we were working on our food cost problem while we were waiting 5 minutes for our coffee to brew.
Exactly.
So awesome. Good job, man.
So this is our challenge to you. Coffee is a pretty simple process, but look at all the many processes in the restaurant that we have, and find ways that we can continuously improve those processes and make them better. Ultimately, we want to make the team members' job easier, and we want to create a culture of continuous improvement. So this is lean thinking, guys. Simple improvements with big benefits.